The main sort of, in a sense, permanent adjustment was that it was clear that Mary was really taking over as the boss at Downton and rather taking the reins from her father, which is a theme we go on with. She's very much in charge. I mean, it's a courteous arrangement. They're not rivals in any sense. But one of the jobs of being in a hereditary business is to accept that it is hereditary, and there comes a time when your usefulness is diminished, and the moment has come to hand on. And I think that we played in the first film and we play in the second. Cora and Robert were in a sense quite passive in the first film. I mean, their job was obviously hosting the King and Queen, and they did that with good grace. But I think they're a bit more active in this one. They have a more difficult emotional journey, both of them. And I think that's nice, you know. I mean, I did deliberately try to give people a bit more of a run for their money if they hadn't had so much to do in the first film. So now I think everyone's had a go. And I'm, you know, I'm pleased with it. I think it's turned out well. He has a very strong grasp of narrative, which is always a useful gift. But in things like Downton, it's an essential one because it's very much multi-narrative. Some of the stories are big and go right through the film. Some are quite short and are told in only 3 scenes. But there are all these stories interlocking, and there are many scenes that serve more than one story, which is why I always say when we have our read-through, you know, at the beginning of the whole thing, I always say to the actors, you must take responsibility for your own story, because it is an impossible job for the director or the cameraman to be concentrating on every single narrative that has a beat within this scene in the ballroom, within this dinner, whatever it is. The comedy I like is real-life comedy. And in all our lives, we all know people who are funnier than other people that we know, and they have the gift of making phrases that are funny. But they don't take you out of the real situation. They're funny to a degree, but they're not fall about Whitehall farce. So you can return to the truth of the narrative situation without any difficulty. And that is, I think, the level of comedy that sits well in a kind of ongoing family saga, which is really what Downton is. I was lucky with Maggie Smith because I'd worked with her before, and the character I wrote that she played in Gosford Park was quite similar to Violet Grantham in Downton. She's a very rewarding actress because she has a great gift, well, she has many gifts, but she has a great gift that she can be very funny 1 minute and 2 minutes later have you crying. And she does it without changing into someone else. Lesser actors turn into someone else when they shift gear. But she doesn't. She remains very true to herself, and she gets, or of her own character, and she can get laughs as that character, but also tears. You're writing to fit actors. And I mean, for me, Lesley Nicol is a very funny actress, but I didn't really know her. I'd seen her in East is East before she got the part, and which she was very good in, but it didn't show what she was capable of in comedy terms. And the more I realized she was funny, the more I wrote for the fact she was funny. And, you know, and you learn other actors are very good at emotional scenes, and they're good at making you cry, or they're, you know, whatever. And you, well, I quite deliberately give them material that I know they will shine in, because it gives you a lot of high points. I'm part of a dying breed who believes that one of the jobs, at least, of the entertainment industry is to entertain. We're a diminishing number, but I want people to watch Downton and enjoy it. I want them to go to this movie and have a nice time and laugh and cry and go out and have a decent dinner and get back home and feel they've had a good evening. That suits me. That's my goal. And if people say, but is it enough for you just to entertain? The answer is yes. And you know, I hope every now and then I make them think about the disparity of background in an unequal society, or I make them think of the difficulties of being homosexual in a period when it was still illegal, or, you know, we touch on things. But that's not the prime purpose. The prime purpose is to give them a really good evening.